at your highest level. So you just want to know all the tips and the kinks, everything about game day.
We haven't seen much of him on the field. Can you describe his playing style, his running style, maybe?
Elusive, high intensity. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get what he can. He's going to make his plays. And Coach Jay has our bodies on the ground list. The body on the ground list is missed tackles. So we're just racing to see who can get more BOGs.
What's it mean to you to have this Notre Dame rivalry back? Somebody from Indy and just Michigan Wolverine to know that Notre Dame is back on the schedule?
Good. It's been all along. You see, I watch all the old highlights of it. You know what I'm saying? Being from Indiana, South Bend, there's really nothing in South Bend. I went up there for a couple visits, but they wasn't really messing with me like that. But so just trying to give them the opportunity to show what they missed out on, and just trying to work hard.
Does that burn you? I mean, being from that state.
Not really, because Notre Dame wasn't really a part of Indiana, just because it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, it's a hard school to get into, it's in their independence, you know what I'm saying, so they really, like the Purdue and Indiana, they weren't really like at the same level, they were a little way higher up because they got a lot more exposure.
So did you get recruited by them, or?
I went there on a visit. One of my teammates who starts outside linebacker for their number 22, Asmar Bilal, I won a state championship with him, so that's going to be a good game. You know what I'm saying, talk back and forth and compete at a high level.
How much have you been talking to him this week coming up?
Not really. I'm going to call him sometime this week. I've been focused just like he's been focused, saying for their adjustments, and they got him playing to the field, and I kind of know some of his weaknesses, so if I catch him out there one time, I have to show him what he missed out on. Back in the day, like in high school, when we have our scrimmages, I was a junior, he was a senior, so we compete hard, and he worked hard and pushed me, and I pushed him.
Chris, speaking of focus, Harbaugh said that the one thing that really stands out about Shea is his focus. But what did you notice about him when he got here? What was your initial impression, and how has that developed over time?
His focus. I like his focus. You know what I'm saying? You can tell how much something means to somebody and to see how focused they are. You know what I'm saying? And they're focused even if it's not just with his job. He's telling the running backs what they got to do. And he just getting here in the spring, he knows a lot. You know what I'm saying? Being a quarterback.
What's the kind of communication like with, I guess, just the overall vibe with him through camp? I mean, how's everything kind of just meshed and come together?
It's been real good. It's more of a committee. Like when he talks, it's like he wants to hear our input. He's not just talking to us. I'm not saying any other quarterbacks do that, but he's not just talking to us and saying, hey, we're gonna do this and this. He's asking us, hey, how do you feel about this? Let's do this, let's do that. And then it's more of he wants everybody's input, you know what I'm saying, to make their jobs easier for him to protect them.
Chris, have you ever thought about what it would be like to be True Wilson, the guy you had to kind of walk on and turn things in a whole different way?
One day, I was always thought about. Ben Mason told me what if, how hungry would you be if you were a walk-on? Like, do you have to have a walk-on mentality to play at a high level? And I was thinking, dang, walk-on, you're not really a guy that they really was recruiting. They just wanted you just took a shot. And I feel like that's it's huge for him being a walk-on. You got to come here hungry. You got to do more than because some kids on scholarship here don't even put the extra time in, don't do the extra work, don't stay after practice, get extra jobs, you know what I'm saying? So having that walk-on mentality is huge, just in any position you play.
Have you seen that from him? What's his mentality look like?
He just picks off of me and Karan. The guys see him do it and compete at a high level. Everything we do, he tries to emulate and I'm saying use in his own way.
You mentioned South Bend and your visit there. What do you remember about the campus or anything like that?
I just remember in the locker room, you got to walk up the steps to get on the field. That's all I didn't really go out on the field because I think they were doing construction or something like that back in the day.
Well, what feels different running behind this line versus last year's line?
I couldn't tell you until week one because a lot of things look good in practice against the scout team, but if we can't go out on the field and handle it, you know what I'm saying? So.
How comfortable do you feel in the passing game with Shea under center, maybe compared to the last couple seasons?
Good. He can extend plays. You know what I'm saying? You might have to block a little longer, but he'll always make you right in ways of, you know what I'm saying, you blocking this way, he's trying to, or you miss a block or miss a protection, somebody, he'll try to make everybody right and extend the plays for us.
Chris, I'm sure you and Karan are aware of the, praise and everything that you've gotten. Do you guys talk? I mean, do you guys consciously know that you are among the best duo running backs?
We actually never even talked about that before. We just go out there every day and compete. You know what I'm saying? That's like we talk about all the stuff, the 24/7, all the scouts and rankings. That's just somebody's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sitting behind the desk opinion, and whatever we go do on the field is just on us. You know what I'm saying? And we could change a lot and change the opinions of, I guess, the people who makes the opinions.
I mean, statistically, the yards per carry is there, the touchdowns, the receiving numbers. I mean, you guys got to know that you're, good players. And
Yes, sir.
But that's as far as the conversation goes.
As far as it goes, because I'm saying we talking about that, and we could be talking about something else with how Notre Dame adjusts to this and adjusts to that instead of, you know what I'm saying?
What have you seen? What have you seen?
Why is this offense going to be different this year?
We got a lot of players that have experience, good quarterback. That's where most of we failed in the past. You know what I'm saying, but other than that, everybody wants to work hard. We start out with a big game, and that should set the tempo for the season.
What have you seen out of Notre Dame's defense on tape? How much do you know about, what you guys are going to try to do?
We're going to try to attack the weaknesses. They play boundary. They play, there's certain guys to the boundary and certain guys to the field. Number 22 plays to the field, so they like to send field pressure. So we're going to just try to expose them when we can and just adjust on the fly.
You see any comparisons to your defense?
Oh, no. Don Brown, it's a circus out on the field in practice. So the fact that we see that every day, we see people going over here, run over here, chase us, start at DN, go back to linebacker. We like, oh my God, what's going on? Like he did in South Carolina. We seen that in practice one time, and we was ready for it because they told us before practice. But being in South Carolina and seeing that, I would have lost my mind out there for real. So anything you could bring, anything a defense could bring isn't, you know what I'm saying, isn't that bad.
People online are talking about your thighs. I'm sorry to bring this up, but you look bigger lower body. How much of your added strength is lower body? You feel it?
Yeah, I feel it a lot. Coach Herbert has been a great impact. Coach Tank, Coach Rowe, Coach Tress. Everybody's just been working hard to get us where we need to be September 1st.
What strides have you made for pass protection?
Mostly the offenses put us in situations where the blocks are easier, or I'm saying situational matchups, so we're not on defensive ends or defensive tackles. So being that is just helping us, articulate.
Harbaugh said last week or whatever that Devin Bush is one of the fastest linebackers he's ever seen. Is he in your mind, and how has he improved? How can he improve on that?
He's really fast, but he's trying to. You could tell he's just like the glue to the defense in practice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going off of him. He's giving the strength calls, blah blah blah. So he's just like the centerpiece, and he's so fast to where even if you're trying to go somewhere and you make it look, he's still there. You know what I'm saying? So like, just having him there, he's not like the biggest guy. Like Notre Dame's linebackers are 6'4", so the speed-wise, we're always ready for that.
How talked about the offense? How has the defense has been here for Michigan the last couple of years? Maybe offense here. Has that gap closed? Do you think?
We'll see September 1st.
Do you think it has? Do you think you've made those changes?
On offense?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're a couple of last spring, last camp defenses. We couldn't even really do anything because, like I said, it's a circus, and we don't even have all the offensive pieces that people still competing for spots on the line. So it's really hard. But now we're starting to compete with them, and starting to compete with us.
Your last one for Chris. Anything else?
You've had the CE Stars event. It's important to you. How did that begin? What has your work been like with that?
It's good. Just trying to give kids the opportunity to play at a high level and get exposure and play 7-on-7. Instead of playing flag's starting to turn into, you don't need to play flag. You need to play at a high level. In Michigan, you need a 7-on-7 and the man-to-man, the cover two. You know what I'm saying? Just giving the kids opportunity to learn.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.